My dad grew up here in Fonda. I think he was born in Fonda. And see, my mom, I think they were the same place, Fonda, down here. Then they got married. But my mother lived, I think, when her mother and her dad broke up, they split up. My grandmother moved to Los Angeles. And my grandfather raised my mom at Lawndale. But my dad lived here at Fonda. I don't know what happened. My mother and dad split up, or I don't know. And my grandma came after me. I was 3 months old, and I lived with her till I was 9 years old. And then we moved back here, this house. There was an old house over here. That's where my mom and dad live. I had 7 real brothers and sisters. Yeah, we had seven brothers and sisters. My grandpa used to talk Cheyenne to me all the time. Both my grandparents, from my dad's side and my mom's side. I can't speak it, but I can understand it. That's weird. Everybody say, what? You know, when they talking and, I start laughing, or I kind of get in the conversation. Say, how can you not speak it? I said, I don't know. But I remember my grandfather both grandfathers speaking Cheyenne to me. And then I can understand, like when the old ladies are talking, I know what they're talking about. But I can't speak it. I don't know why. Oh, a few.
What words?
Like my Indian name is Manhawa, and so is my granddaughter, my oldest granddaughter. Her name is Manhawa. At our home, they always talk Cheyenne. My grandpa, my great grandpa, and was Frank Pawpaw. And then my other grandfather on my dad's side, his name was Ben Buffalo. And he talked Cheyenne to me all the time. Said my brothers and sisters, they're just now saying, learning stuff. And they were never taught in Cheyenne. We went to Catholic school at Montana. That's when my mom and dad separated, and he moved to Montana. And that's when we were put in the boarding school. We went to school there at the mission, St. Libre Mission. And we stayed there all week, Monday through Friday. Monday morning we got on the bus and went to the mission. I call it the mission. And we'd stay there till Friday evening after school, then we'd come home. But they taught in the dorms, like after school and everything, everybody could talk their language, just not in school. Why, I don't know. Up there, when we moved up to Montana, Ashland, they had no running water, no outside toilet, no inside toilets. Everything was outside, and no electricity. We had no electricity. You had those lanterns, some old-time lanterns. You put kerosene in there. And I told you I grew up in Los Angeles. Then I come back to my mom and dad. Then they split up, and then we moved to Montana. That's like moving into a step back in time. No electricity, no running water. If you wanted water yet, there was a pump. You pumped water. And there was a one-room house. How about big as this whole thing together? was 8 of us. We lived in that little house. I hated it. I didn't like it one bit. I cried for 2 weeks. I sat in the car and I wouldn't get out. And, my dad, who would, some mornings we'd be still in bed and it'd be freezing cold. No insulation in them houses. You look up at the nails up there and there were frost on there. And we had, she had a cook stove. My dad and my brother always chopped wood all the time. And then sometimes there'd be deer walking past, and they shoot the deer, and then they butcher the deer right there, make dry meat. We ate deer all the time. I remember my stepmother, she used to cook Indian bread, biscuits, skillet bread. We never went to the store to get bread. Never, I remember a few times, but mostly we ate our meals at the Catholic school. But on weekends we cooked biscuits. She always had a big basket full of biscuits, and if you wanted, no candy, no pop, no Kool-Aid, just water. Sometimes the deer walk right past you and they jump up. They had their guns already ready there. They just run out and shoot the deer. And my stepmother and I would help her butcher the deer right there. And they get the hide and stretch it out and put it on make moccasins out of it, stuff like that. I remember my grandmother used to make them, and she'd get a big old cardboard, or she had a big board. I don't remember if she smashed them but she made patties, like little patties on that board, and then we'd dry them like during the day, and then you turn it over. And she had a bag. She'd put them in the bag, hang them up, and then when it was winter time, when it was cold, she'd get them out, cook them. I don't remember us going to the clinic. Like people get on the bus and go every week, every 2 weeks. We never did go to the doctor. Our only activity was like to play ball, softball. We played softball all the time, every weekend. There's a whole bunch of girls. There was a lot of people lived here. In Sealand, ain't that many live here anymore. But there was quite a few of us girls. We had our own ball team, and we played ball. I was the pitcher. And we'd have like bingos during the week. We raised funds for our own equipment, and that was about our pastime. We played ball all week. We went to school. The ones that helped us was his name was Marvin Black and Irvin Bull. They were kind of like, what we call those, mentors. And they were the ones that, made sure we went home that night and got up early. Then he'd get with their own cars. We'd go maybe on 2 cars. They get gas money, and we would go play ball. I tried to go to school. That didn't really work out because I didn't really have a home. My mom was an alcoholic. I lived with her for a while till she get mad at me and chase me off, and I go live with my grandma, Eveline White Crane. Then I came back here to Sealand. This is where I got got me a home, and I started working here at the school. I worked there for 26 years. I raised my children all. My son died May 14th, and then my granddaughter was born July 12th. He didn't get to see her, but he saw the other one, the older one. And they were living here with me, and that was my only reason to get up and to help my daughter-in-law take care of the kids. I went into this, I was in the Sundance, and I fasted for 3 days. Is it 3 days, 2 nights? Yeah. And I prayed hard, I prayed hard. And I knew I needed to do something. I needed to. And I did. It wasn't easy. It was hard. My grandmother and my mother used to beat. My mother was, she beat it real good. She was a perfect, her beating was real perfect. And she was selling, I remember she was trying to sell a necklace and beat it, a beat it medallion. And that guy said, "No, I'm not going to buy this." And she said, "How come you're not going to buy this?" He said, "Because it was made in Japan." And she got mad. And she cut, well, it's called edge work around the edge. She had about 3 necklaces. So she cut the beads off of that one necklace to open it up because she used to write her name inside. That she beat it by Dolores Whiteman. And she said, "And they're not made in China." The beadwork's not from China. She said, "I made it." And she cut all those beads just to open that inside because she would have her name in there, her address. And she did beautiful work. She did real good work. And my grandmother, my mother's mother, she was real creative. She could make dolls and all kinds of stuff. And from scrap, you'd give her a box of scrap and she'd make stuff out of it. And I don't have any of that stuff. Just, I've moved so many times, and she used to make dolls, Indian dolls, beadwork, moccasins, medallions. They both beaded a lot.